to My Girl Talk Q&A. I'm your host, Zoe Lillian, and I am joined by Jackie, Danielle, and Gola. Today, we are going to be talking about hair removal. We have tons of questions, embarrassing and awkward. Who is excited to answer them?
We are.
Today's episode is brought to you by Nair.
Well, let's get right into it. I'm so excited. Our first question is, I want to start shaving, but I'm scared to ask my mom if I can do it. Do you have any advice?
I was actually really afraid to ask my mom when I first started shaving, so I actually just secretly did it by myself in the shower for the first time. But then I felt so guilty I hadn't asked her. I went back and asked her, and she was so excited about.
Wait, like after you had shaved, you were like, by the way, can I
was
shave?
like, could you teach me how to shave? So then she was really excited about it, and that really helped like soothe my fear about approaching her with other things. And even I remember while we were doing it, she was like, you don't have very much leg hair, but I'll show you if you want me to.
Wait, did she say you didn't have very much because you had already just shaved
it? So my advice is to just embrace your fear and trust your mom. She's your mom.
Yeah,
like you shouldn't be afraid. Like she might be a little bit sad because you're like growing up and becoming a woman, but like she's not gonna get mad at you for growing hair. You didn't like do it on purpose.
Like, what happens?
Yeah.
It's true, it does happen.
She's the best person to ask to unless you have like a big sister, and she's ultimately going to also be the person buying your razor or what have you, whatever you're using.
Yeah.
I asked my mom because I was so excited to start shaving. I was like ready to go, ready to take it off, and she, I think, was a bit embarrassed about being the one to teach it to me.
Oh, interesting.
So she asked her best friend to invite her daughter out to dinner with one night with all of us. And after dinner, we got barricaded in my room alone, and her daughter was the one that taught me how to shave. She was like, when you're shaving your knee, make sure you bend it because you don't want to go right over it and nick yourself.
True.
You need someone to tell you
exactly.
that. Nobody tells you that.
Right.
Otherwise, there's no, well, I mean, there's one way to learn it on your own. But,
You just like figure out the physics of like bending the knee.
But I'll always remember that. That's like the one thing I'll always remember.
I'm just imagining you barricaded in this room with this friend and your mother just like sliding a razor under the door. Like, don't come out.
Essentially how it happened.
How old was the older girl?
She was 16, 17, and I was like 11 or 12. So it was a little bit better. It was more comfortable for me, definitely, because it was someone who was closer to my age rather than my mom. But I think it worked out best for everybody.
Yeah, I really feel like no matter who you ask, they're going to be kind of appreciative that you chose to ask them. Like, you know, you can ask your mom, or you can ask maybe a friend who already shaves, or an older sibling, anybody who can tell you. I mean, dads can teach you how to shave too. They probably shave. So I feel like it's just about saying like, hi, this is this thing with my body, and this is how I want to address it. Can you help? And they'll be really touched. My mother didn't want me to shave, so she took me to get my legs waxed. I remember. I was
like
like,
an intense intro.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like yes, but also when you're young, I think I was maybe like 13 or something, your hair's still like kind of wispy and not that strong.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, and then it just got us off on a kick of waxing, and it was just like a fun experience of her like holding my hand. It was great. So you brought up the bending of the knee, age-old dilemma. Do you remove the hair above the knee? Are you supposed to? That's what the question is. Are you supposed to get rid of hair above the knee?
I don't think that there's any supposed to with any of your body hair. I think it's totally up to you what you do and don't shave or wax or what have you. Me personally, I think sometimes I'll do the hair above the knee if I'm, you know, wearing a shorter skirt or shorts, or if I'm going somewhere special, if I have bikini weather or something like that. But otherwise, like, I don't really touch it.
Yeah. What about y'all?
I typically go with like wherever my fingertips land, just because I vary from day to day between dresses or shorts or pants, so I like to just keep it generally smooth.
Oh yeah, that's a good. I feel like that's like the requirement in like high schools and middle schools too, for like the length of skirt.
Yeah, that's what
it was always a safe distance for me. I knew I was good below there.
They like conditioned you to that point.
Like if it's below the fingertips, it's okay. What about you?
Like, I do it above the knee, but not as often because it takes so much time. Like, you have a lot of thigh.
A lot of thigh.
So
I mean, I have like a little more thigh than you do, and like if it takes you a long time, it adds so much time.
It really does.
If you're waxing or shaving, like when you like get waxed by like a person, like it's like double the price to do your thigh, and it takes so much time. There's just always more thigh to get. And where does your thigh stop? When are you like
when is it your butt?
It's just complicated. Like, how high up do you go?
Yeah, I've never felt like fully confident about shaving those areas.
Yeah,
for sure.
There's just so
There's
much
too much
to
of
it.
it.
There's so much of it. Okay, moving on to the next question. I love feeling smooth after I shave, but I hate stubble. Any tips for dealing with stubble?
I think like whenever you shave, you are gonna get stubble, so like you have to like turn to other methods, which is why I do like Nair depilatory cream, because like you don't like the stubble that grows back isn't as stubbly. Does that make sense?
Skin is honestly less irritated by the hair growth. It's really remarkable.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'd also say like exfoliate. I think that really helps because it's getting rid of the dead skin and it doesn't need to like break through. I mean, I don't know the science. I do it before I shave because it gets rid of the dead skin before I hop in and like actually shave it, so you're not like wiping away that layer of dead skin on your legs too.
Oh, so you're getting like a really close shave.
Yeah, totally. Very close shave, and also I find that it is very similar to the Nair depilatory cream because it has that kind of like slickness to your leg after you shave
When you step out.
Yeah,
It's like, I'm a newborn babe.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only time I've really ever felt that feeling is after using Nair. You get out of the shower and you're like, here I am.
It's like shiny.
Well, it's really because I feel like stubble generally comes from razors. Like whenever I use, like I tried like the Nair waxing strips as well, and that really also helps to avoid stubble. So I really think it's about shaving kind of breeds stubble, and then like having like a pre-hair removal routine, like removing all the dead skin cells is definitely a really good way.
Totally, and
get rid of stubble.
moisturizing as well after you shave.
Oh yeah.
Because I find that like when it's cold, when my legs are cold, the hair grows a little bit faster because you get the little goose pimples. I don't know.
Do you think there's a
what you
link
call it.
between getting goosebumps and your hair growing?
Google
Science by Gola.
Google it yourself. I'm not a scientist, but I just find that when I get goose pimples, I start to feel the stubble, and when I have lotion on, especially like a nice thick cream, I don't feel that I get cold as much or goose pimples as much.
Do you make your own like exfoliating scrub, or like what do you like to use?
I'm not that talented, unfortunately. I have a brand that I swear by from this one store, and I use it religiously. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I've used this product a few times. It's called Tend Skin, and that is like you use it after removing hair, and it like avoids razor burn and things like that. But in order to really avoid razor burn, like just don't shave and use other methods. But it's a really good. It's a good thing.
I know it's hard to put that razor down when you're like addicted to it, but it's so worth it when you find other methods that work a little bit better, especially when like avoiding stubble, which I hate.
And like the moisturizing tip is a really good tip too.
Yeah.
So wait, moisturize like any kind of like just lotions in general, or
I would say like really like I was gonna say luxurious.
Yeah,
like
do
really nourishing, like thicker
More of a butter
creams.
than a lotion.
Yeah,
Ooh.
and I
Body
use
butter.
oils too.
Yeah.
Like jojoba oil or
jojoba oil.
jojoba.
See, I've always thought it was jojoba. You learn something new every day. Or jojoba is really what I thought. I heard you just heard Danielle snort. That's how she laughed.
Jojoba.
So
Jojoba.
jojoba. What do you say?
Jojoba.
Jojoba.
That's how you actually say it, though, right?
It sounds
I
like
think
that.
so. It sounds right.
No, you're probably right. I'm probably wrong.
Thank you.
So you use
Yeah.
say it.
Well, now I can't.
You can also use coconut oil. That's easier to pronounce.
Yeah.
Sure.
Coconut oil.
Coconut.
I like jojoba though because it is the closest to like the natural oil that your body gives off, so it absorbs really well.
Oh. Pro tip.
Do you know like does it come from a plant?
Isn't the jojoba bean?
Oh.
Is it a bean? Is it a plant?
Is it a bean? Is it a plant? I don't know. Why don't you guys Google that? Let us know in the comments what it is. I'm very excited to find out. Okay, coming up next. I am 12. Is that too young to start growing hair on my legs? I don't want it there.
Oh my god, that is not too early. I started growing hair so much before that. It's natural. Like it's gonna come in when it comes in.
Yeah, I think you probably already had hair. You just only noticed it because you're trying to go through puberty, so your hair's gonna get dark. I think about it, you have like probably some wisps of hair under your armpit, so it makes sense that like what is on your legs is gonna get darker. I don't know.
But yeah, I started like shaving I think when I was 10.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, like that was the first time I tried, and like I didn't ask my mom or anything, so I like tried to do it underwater. I was like sitting in the bath, like underwater, like shaving my leg. It did not turn out well. Which is like another.
God, like because like you couldn't shave the hair, or because you cut?
Because I cut myself.
Oh my
I know
gosh.
it probably looked like really like a bad
like Psycho, like the bat scene in Psycho. Oh my
That
gosh.
is a visual.
So were you shaving at 10 because most of your friends were, or do you just like decided to take it on yourself?
Yeah, most of my friends were always a couple years older than me in school because I had skipped a grade. So like they had started shaving, so like
She's
I
smart.
also
She's smart. Skip the grade.
just wanted to like keep up with
Yeah.
the
Oh,
kids.
so that's interesting because you were with older girls who were shaving, so you felt like you should shave.
Yeah. So like you said, like it's not even really about like when you actually start growing hair. It's like, yeah, like when the people around you start noticing it and like you start noticing it.
But I feel like if the people around you are like making fun of your leg hair, like it's a normal, natural thing, and like maybe like check your friends.
I mean, also they clearly like lack the maturity, I think, or at least like I certainly did at that age to be like know better than that.
It's hard. It's
You know
hard
what
when
I
you're
mean?
12 to be like, no, I have this thing that you're saying is weird, and I'm okay with it. Like that's scary for
Yeah,
sure.
it's like hard to like
yeah.
be your own person sometimes.
Yeah, no,
Does
so
that make
I feel
sense?
you.
Yeah.
I feel
Well, you're
it.
learning how to be a person. You know what I mean? So like the idea of being your own person is like still to be conquered down the line. You're just at that point you're just like, what is everyone else doing? Can I do it too? Yeah.
Absolutely. Did you also have hair at 12, Danielle?
Oh yeah, the whole shaving debacle happened around 11.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, fair. Wait, so you talked about shaving underwater and you bleeding, which is like terrifying. So this brings me to the next question. I feel like I always get nicks on my skin if I shave when my skin is a little dry. Okay, so not underwater.
Yeah, not underwater.
Do you have any tips for dealing with that? Well, I feel like you shouldn't shave if your skin is dry.
Yeah.
Try to
First of
address
all,
that problem
first of
first.
all, like shaving, you should be very wet and like because it loosens up the follicles and your skin is not like dry and so that's like a good thing is like number one, don't have it dry.
Take care of your skin so that it's not dry before shaving. I'm like saying this as I scratch. I totally deal with this because I have eczema and sometimes my legs are really dry and it's like at a point where I'm like, I probably shouldn't shave. So I take a step back, go to all my like healing, yummy, like take care of myself and my skin methods before I'll even think about doing that because you just don't want to make a bad situation worse.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
And there are products that like moisturize your skin. Like I know like the Nair depilatory cream like will moisturize
Is
when
moisturizing.
Yeah, you were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
So if you have dry skin, maybe it's better to, as you said, like not try shaving and do something else.
Try a different method.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And that nourishes your skin while it's removing the cream, removing the hair as well, which I love. Because you have that feel afterwards, like we were talking about. It's that slickness.
Slick. You're like,
Yeah.
I could go on a slip and slide and I wouldn't even need water.
I probably could, yeah.
Wait, so when you do get nicks though, what do you do?
Honestly, it's the same. Hopefully you've noticed you've injured yourself and you've stopped because sometimes it can get a little excessive. But if it's a tiny enough one, just a little pressure, as if like when men, put like the little papers on their face. If you just hold a little pressure to it, it'll look scarier in the shower because of the water.
Because the water's
But
like,
that's just it's just encouraging the blood to flow. If you give it a little pressure, it'll clot up. You'll be okay.
oh my goodness. What's the most you've ever nicked yourself in a single go, you think?
Oh, thankfully not too bad.
Yeah.
Whenever I get like a new razor, I think is like when I notice the most nicks. Or a really
probably
old
for me,
it's an old razor.
Yeah,
It's
like
when
both
I nick,
sides.
I know I have to change the head.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
That is a good tip. I didn't like know that. Like sometimes you have to figure that out on your own. But yeah, like you should change your razor head enough so that like you aren't hurting yourself. Like if
How
it starts
often do you
to
have
rust.
to change your razor head?
I think it depends how well you like do the upkeep
Of the
'Cause, like,
razor or of your leg hair?
of the razor.
Mm.
Because like sometimes like if it's like sitting in water in your shower, like it'll rust really
Yeah.
fast.
If it's made of metal, you have to maintain it.
Yeah.
Ah, so like cleaning
See,
it.
It's like such a pain in the bum. I just can't even think about. There's so many other ways to take care of your hair besides that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like without having to worry about like another thing in your bathroom that you have to take care of every day, every week.
Yeah, I also feel like when you shave, you have to do it all the time.
It's so true.
Like, because it just grows back so fast. Which actually brings me to my next question is, tell me the truth. What is the longest you've ever gone without shaving? Go for it.
I think probably like 3 months,
3 minutes ago?
No, 3 months.
Oh.
Yeah, because like I went to school in New Hampshire. It was really cold during the winter, so like you were always wearing tights or leggings, so you didn't need to.
Yeah.
That's to piggyback on that. I'm from the East Coast, and there's like pants season from about when it gets really cold in October to when it starts warming up in March. That you can just you're in pants all of
That's
the time.
like
You're
5
in tights.
months of pants
It
weather.
is. It's like 5 or 6
LA,
months.
I'm from LA, so this is like mind blowing to me not being able to wear shorts or skirts or dresses for 5 months.
I mean, you can, but it's
With
chilly.
tights,
and then
yeah.
the body hair is supposed to help keep you warm. So it just it all works
to be
together.
It's pants season, and you actually have an additional pair of pants under your pants.
Your
Not just
natural leggings.
Your natural leggings.
Long underwear.
Long underwear. Absolutely. That's so funny.
Probably the longest for me is about 2 months, but it was like while I was traveling, so I didn't feel like I needed to.
What do you mean?
Reason. I don't know. Like I was in Europe, I feel like there's a different approach to hair removal there.
That's really funny that you said it. So I grew up in France, and so when I like haven't shaved or removed hair in a while, and like people will notice or something, and they'll be like, "Oh no, it's fine, you're French," and it's like. Most of my friends back home remove their body hair. This isn't a French thing. This is a lazy thing.
Yeah.
But so I think it's so interesting that you just like felt like it was like a more comfortable space to do that.
I just was exploring my body and myself in Europe, and that was one of the things that came along with
Okay,
it.
but so after so it sounds like it's kind of for everyone been about like 3 months. What was your first shave like, or your first like? How did you remove the hair once it was that long?
Ooh. I feel like that like a cream is good for like when you haven't done it in a long
When it
time.
gets that thick.
Yeah.
Because your hair's
Like
wispy. Wispier than it would be.
And like long, like can fly, and you can like feel the wind.
I would do more sections rather than the whole leg at once.
Oh yeah, because then
because
you like
definitely
accumulates
want
on the
to
razor.
clean your razor between shaves.
But it is like one of the smoothest I've ever seen my leg is shaving it after that one time.
Well, that comes back to the avoiding stubble. Doing it with less frequency, avoid stubble.
Yeah.
But you also brought up a really great point about using like a Nair depilatory cream if you have gone a while, or if it's like maybe if it's your first time removing hair, so your hair is really long. Like that's a really good time when to use that.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Or like I think waxing is also good if it's long because your hair has to be a certain length.
you can't
so
wax
true.
if it's too short.
You can't wax if it's too short, and it's problematic if it's too long as well.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like then it like I use the Nair wax strips, and it like says on the box like it should be between I think it's like 1/8 of an inch and like 3/8 of an inch or something.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what it is, but it was the right length and it worked pretty well. So I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know. I thought it was really helpful for like in my armpits actually, which is brings me to the next question. My armpit hair always grows back so fast. Like if I shave in the morning, it's back by the end of day. How do I make this not happen?
I wish I knew the answer to that. You know?
It's like an age-old dilemma.
Another one. So many dilemmas we're having. Nobody has tips. I just feel like, for me, were you about to say something?
Well, I know when it comes to trying to prevent future hair growth, waxing is the best way to kill a follicle and then have that hair not be there anymore.
Yeah.
Rather than trimming it by shaving.
Yeah, I don't shave my armpits. I wax my armpits. And that's because my mother taught me to wax my armpits.
Yeah.
And my mom now has like 3 armpit hairs.
Wow.
So maybe someday I'll have only 3 armpit
It's
hairs.
like an investment in your future.
It really is, and it's really not that hard to, like, I think for the first time you do it, especially if you've been shaving, you should definitely get it done by a professional because it will hurt because you're
Sensitive.
it's like it's gonna be growing in all different directions, and like the hair is gonna be really thick, and so you should have someone help you, like either go to a person, or I guess you could try using like wax strips or even a depilatory cream, the Nair depilatory cream you could do on your own. But it's just like, so that first time is good, but then you're not gonna get stubble, I think. Like I know some people say that shaving doesn't actually stimulate hair growth. I know that's what like the Mayo Clinic says, but like as a personal person who has shaved,
Gone through the experience.
who has gone through the
lived it.
experience, like I 100% feel that if I shave, it grows back thicker. And if I don't shave and I use another kind of thing like depilatory cream or like the Nair wax strips or like a lady waxing me or like anything but shaving.
Have you ever gotten like the double follicle?
Oh yeah,
the
like
2 hairs.
ingrowns.
Yes.
Like shaving causes
Shaving
way
causes
more
a lot of
ingrowns.
problems.
And I don't care what any statistics say. It is 100% true because we feel it. We feel it. These are our
We've been there,
facts.
we've done that.
Well, no, I just feel like because when you shave hair, then you're like making it sharp, right?
And I think that's why the stubble, it
Feels like
irritates
that.
your skin even. It's not just the stubble poking you itself. It's the sharpness of the growth. You're just like itchy and red and upset and
Yeah, because I feel like if we had like a lovely like giant diagram of a hair
want,
and
like,
a
a
follicle,
demo.
which I kind of wish we had. If you're using like a razor, you're going like at some random angle, and so there's like a sharp edge, right? But if you're using like like one of the wax strips or something, you're like pulling it out of the follicle.
Do you
Right?
Do you guys pull those wax strips yourself? I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll do it for you, Lola. I'll
I
do it
can't
for you.
do it. It's too scary. I hesitate too much.
You just gotta do it. You gotta like pull the skin taut and go.
I'm sure you get used to it. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
But that hump that you got to get over is a little too cumbersome for me.
I'll guide you over the hump. We'll do it. I'll help you.
I love
I'll
that.
help you. I'll encourage you.
Communal activity.
It really can be.
could
Like,
be, right?
I
Waxing
definitely used to do
party.
that.
Your
Dance.
mom taking you for your first wax.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've taken a lot of friends to their first wax because I am really of the opinion that shaving is a terrible thing to do to your body because there are so many other options out there. And I'm just like, no, do this or do that, or use nair depilatory cream, or like I'll take you to get waxed. Like, let's do this because you shouldn't be suffering in your stubbly silence.
You shouldn't feel like there's only one way.
Exactly. That's really what this whole, I feel like we're getting from this whole convo is that there isn't just one way to handle body hair. And it's like whatever makes you feel comfortable and you feel like healthy and beautiful and whatever that is. Do you guys feel like there's anything that we didn't touch on about body hair that we should absolutely address?
The face,
Ooh, good
True.
call. Like removing body hair on the face.
just because it is usually a much more sensitive area.
And definitely one that can cause a lot of like social discomfort if you do have hair on your face.
Yes.
And especially like when you're trying something for the first time, like I feel like your leg is like a little bit weird because like you tried a cream or something, like whatever. Like you don't want to like mess up like here or like your eyebrows or something and
That's
like
a
look
really
like
good
a
point.
crazy.
It's different with the places that like you want, where else on your body are you like, I want to be very deliberate about the shape of my hair here. So like when you're waxing, you don't want to mess up your eyebrows, but like I could see how the Ready Wax strips would be really good for the upper lip. I know a lot of girls who are like super self-conscious about it. I know a lot of girls who got teased in high school about that part in particular, and that's so much better than shaving because shaving.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Don't shave your face.
Don't shave your face.
Don't shave your face.
Don't shave your face. Don't
Just don't
do
do
it.
it.
I mean, if you want to have 5 o'clock shadow, then yes, shave your face. But
Sorry.
I hope y'all can hear Danielle
so
snorting because
endearing.
it is so good. It is so good. You are your true, authentic self here. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you about the Ready Wax strips though,
Yeah.
because that would just be like done. And I mean, you'd probably have to have someone
could
help
pull it
you.
for me. It's
I would pull
fine.
it. You'd have to.
There we go.
That's so good. Oh my gosh, I feel like we covered a lot of bases with body hair removal. It's been a
an
good chat.
education.
It's been an education. I
learned a
hope-
lot.
I-
Fun for us too,
Yeah.
Because we don't talk about this enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you learned as much as we did. Make sure to check out the next My Girl Talk on July 24th, which will be hosted by my girl Drew Dorsey. And just thank you so much for joining us here, Jackie, Danielle, Angola. I'm your host, Zoe Lillian. And remember, you are so beautiful no matter what you choose to do.
Thanks to Nair Hair Remover for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to hear more about hair removal tips and techniques, please click one of these videos.